Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's third and final video. So day 10 is going to take us to around the 16th of August. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles and maybe run to around a couple of weeks. And we'll have a look at the CFS V2 for September, the end of the video. And then we're going to have a bit of a surprise for you right at the very end. We're going to look at the ECMWF seasonal model. And I'll show you the very first opening salvo, if you like, from the ECM for winter 2021-2022. So stick around to the end of the video for some ultra long range. That's going to be an interesting watch. Just show you a little bit of it, but you'll be able to see, you know, for the first time what the ECM WF seasonal model is predicting for winter 21-22 at the end of the video. Right, so that's coming up right at the end. Before that, though, we've got 10 to 14 there to look at. But just to say that the first video released today was our 7 AM forecast upload, so check that one out if you'd like to do that. And also, we've released JMA Friday as well. I'll tell you what's coming up tomorrow on the channel at the end of the video. And just say we've got to put on around another 10 subscribers now to get ourselves to 11.7k, 11,700 subscribers. So the subs are moving quite quickly at the moment. Another 10 is all that's needed to get to 11.7k. Please, can you give us a sub, everybody? Thank you so much for doing that. Tell friends and family to subscribe as well. It's amazing and it's incredible. The ultimate target is 12k. And when we get to 12k, we are going to be giving away either some merch or some or an Amazon voucher or something. We'll give something away when we get to 12k. So yeah, that's coming up quite shortly, hopefully. I mean, around I would have thought like around a month, maybe a couple of months time, we should hit 12k. So that's the next main target, but the mini target is 11.7k, and we're only 10 away from that. So please give us a sub if you'd like to do that. I hope you're having a lovely Friday. And thank you so much for being here on this Friday afternoon, evening, or whenever you're watching this video. Right, let's get on with it then. We're going to start off with the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off below average at the moment. It's unsettled. And I'm going to say generally cooler than average as well over the next week. And to be honest, there is not much of a sign now of a warm-up even into the second half of August. And you know, in the videos, we've been talking about this idea that mid to second half of August might see a switch to high pressure and warmer, drier weather. But you look at that ensemble graph, and there really is not a sustained sort of look of warmer, drier conditions. So definitely like the next week will be cool. We may see a recovery to near normal temperatures as we get towards the middle part of August. That does mask the fact there are still one or two hot outliers up here, but plenty of cool ensemble members down there. And then in the more extended range, again, just nothing overly convincing in terms of much of a warm-up anyway. There are some ensemble members that are warming things up. These ones up here are going very hot, for example, but we still have a lot of ensemble members down here that are keeping things pretty cool, to be honest. Ensemble mean, which is the white line, is only going to close to average. So again, we may get some sort of a warm-up into the second half of August, but based on that, you would not necessarily be expecting one. Precipitation-wise, plenty of rainfall to come over this weekend and into early next week. A little bit drier, perhaps, around the middle of next week, and then going more unsettled again, actually, into the second half of August with some quite big rainfall spikes coming through there. So like there perhaps is a bit of a drier interlude just here for a few days from say around the 10th, 11th of August, around the 15th. But from the 16th onwards, it looks pretty unsettled again. So definitely no convincing warm, dry weather in the next week to 10 days, anyway, let's say. Temperature anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of August are very close to average, not a particularly big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of August are generally wetter than average for northern and western areas and nearer normal further south and east. We have reverted back to a more typical pattern. You'll remember that in July, when we did the August forecast, I showed you the anomalies for temperature and precipitation, sunshine, for July, and northern and western areas had a warmer, drier, sunnier month than southern and eastern areas, which is not what you expect in the summer. Now things have flipped around and are back to a much more typical type pattern, with northern and western areas looking wetter and almost certainly duller than southern and eastern areas. Not much different, so in terms of temperature. So our latest info map from Earth Null School is looking, and you can see we're right under low pressure. Low pressure dominating over top the country. Income westerlies. We are firmly into unsettled conditions. Right, let's go through some chart data then. So we're going to have a look at the UK Met at the weather outlook. First of all, this is how UK Met is looking for Monday. Midnight on Monday, low pressure is over and slight to the east of the country, cool and showering into the early part of next week. Tuesday through to Wednesday, we take that low pressure away, raise the heights a little bit over country. So Tuesday, Wednesday should start to turn a little bit warmer and dry. We might get temperature up to mid-20s in southern parts of the country. High pressure begins to slip southwards and eastwards into Thursday. If this low pressure starts to come into the north and west, that could bring some warmish conditions to the south, a little bit unsettled in the north. By the time we get through to midnight on Friday, the UK Met is keying that low pressure out to our west with a ridge to the east. That could be pulling up some quite warm air from the south, and might be suggesting a bit of thunder actually in southern areas if there is instability with that. So the UK Met definitely looks like a relatively warm and dry option actually for the middle and second half of next week. But wait till you see the GFS. Right, this is how the GFS midnight run is looking. With low pressure over the top of the country, slightly to our east on Monday. Into Tuesday and Wednesday, we start to try and raise heights a little bit to our south and southeast. However, we've got this deepening area of low pressure out to the west of the country on Wednesday, and that just rolls in. So instead of like getting a warm push from the south through Thursday into Friday, we just bring low pressure in off the Atlantic. That brings a further bout of wet and windy weather in with it. By Friday next week, we're looking very unsettled. Low pressure is to our north and west. We're bringing in west-southwesterly winds. There'll be outbreaks of rain, and although it could be a little bit warmer in the south and southeast, generally that's pretty cool and unsettled, I think, especially the northern and western areas. Up towards day 10, again, we try to raise the heights a little bit to our south there on the 15th of August. That gets flattened off, though, as his next low comes in. So day 10, which is 16th of August, just bringing in the next low from off the Atlantic. And so on it goes into the extended range of GFS. Midnight run is unleashing a little bit of a deluge today, with low pressure just regularly rolling in, bringing further bouts of rain. Winds are in from the northwest, so it's cool as well, cool, unsettled, with rain, showers, longer spells of rain at times. Right at the very end, which gets us to the 22nd of August, right at the very end of the GFS midnight run, we start to get some high pressure building up from the Azores. Turns a little bit drier, or turns drier and warmer. Maybe quite significantly warmer then. But of course, that's like 2 weeks away. And before then, the GFS midnight run is very unsettled. Now, let's have a look at 6Z, see what that one's doing. So this is the very latest from the GFS. Monday, again, low pressure is in control of weather, bringing lots of showers, longer spells of rain. Through the middle part of next week, the heights rise a little bit from our south, but we've got deepening low pressure to our west, and this low pressure just rolls in through the second half of next week. There's perhaps a warmer, drier couple of days around Wednesday, Thursday. Southern and east areas might get the temperature into mid-20s Celsius, south and southeast. But by Friday, this low pressure is coming in off the Atlantic. That brings further bouts of rain and quite cool temperatures as well. Heading up towards day 10, we just look rather showery, a little bit on the cool side as well. Nothing particularly exciting going on up to day 10. And then in the more extended range, just another low starts moving in. So into the second half of August, it's 19th of August. Yes, in comes the next area of low pressure. That in turn is bringing further bouts of rain and quite cool temperatures as well. Deep low over top of the country, actually looking a little bit autumnal there on the 20th of August. And right at the very end, the low pressure begins to move out into the North Sea, still bringing cool, showery, northwesterly winds. The GFS model app has definitely taken a turn for the worse today. in terms of unsettled and cool weather. We do get a couple of drier and rather warmer days around Wednesday, Thursday next week, particularly in the South and South Beach. But after that, it looks pretty grim with the GFS output today. Let's see what GEM is doing. If you enjoyed this video, please can you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. This is how the GEM is looking for Monday. Again, low pressure is dominating, bringing showery bursts of rain. That low pressure clearing out of way. The next low started to move towards us by the time we get through to Wednesday. Heights rising a little bit to our south and southeast. In comes the low through Thursday and Friday with the GEM. That gives us an unsettled end to next week, particularly so for more southern areas. The south might just stay reasonably dry and a little bit warmer there, but overall that looks pretty unsettled through to the end of next week. Remember, GM does have a little bit of a change up to day 10, starts to raise the height slightly across the country, pulls up some warmth from the south, so it turns a bit drier and warmer around the middle part of August. How long that would last, it's uncertain, and that does have a rather thundery looking flavour to it, I think, that chart, with low pressure to the west of Ireland, a heat low coming from Spain, begin to moving towards Biscay. You know, if we go on another 24 hours, I think we'll get quite interesting that from a thundering perspective. As far as we go with the GM, though, so have a look at the ECMWF instead. Let's have a look with the ECM on Monday. Again, low pressure is over the top of the country or just to our north. Will bring showery conditions, quite cool weather as well. Into Tuesday and Wednesday, a little bit of a ridge builds in the south, turns things a bit dry and slightly warmer for more southern areas around the middle of the week. And then into Thursday and Friday, this low pushing in off the Atlantic. Again, it's more particularly to northern and western areas. The southeast might hold on to some drier weather with that, although it is a very, very close run thing. Even in the southeast, pressure is relatively weak, to be honest. So I think even there will be some showery rain push through. But the wettest weather and windiest weather is probably to the north and to the northwest. Quite cool and showery there by Saturday, the 14th of August. Just at the very end, again, we tried to raise heights a bit to our south and south beach, but it doesn't really come to much. Next low to west of Ireland, and that's only going in one direction, which is into the UK. So it is very much a mixed bag with model output today for the next week to 10 days. This is a precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. Plenty of showers and longer spells of rain coming and going over the next few days, staying unsettled, at least showery, into the early part of next week. Middle of next week, a little bit drier, and from the southeast anyway, a little bit warmer as well. Rain coming into the north and the northwest. Even some rain getting into the south eventually by the end of next week as well, but primarily wet weather later next week with that ECM run is to the north and to the west. And then right at the very end, day 10, we're bringing in another bout of heavy rain across most parts of the country. The southeast does get a fair few dry days with that. The wettest weather is always to the north and northwest once we get to middle of next week onwards. But it is a mixed bag, you have to say. It's a mixed bag. And even in the southeast, there's a little bit of rain coming through at times, because it could turn even more unsettled than this, this suggests, which is what the GFS model output is doing. Right, let's have a look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. So this is going to get us to the 16th of August. So we have, it's from the Icelandic Met Office as well, by the way, we have 30 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our west and northwest, low pressure to our east and northeast. So this is bringing in quite a cool and showery northwesterly wind. And then we have 21 with low pressure just to our west and higher pressure slightly to our south. That's still unsettled, but could be a little bit warmer with wind coming in from a southwest direction. All options seem to be, or both options, there's only two of them, seem to be unsettled anyway around day 10. And in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 21st of August. 15 members of the ECM ensembles will have high pressure to our north and northwest with low pressure to our west-southwest. So that's keeping unsettled weather going, actually, up to 2 weeks out. We have 11 with high pressure away to our west and northwest again. Low pressure is to our east and northeast. That's unsettled and quite cool as well, bringing in wind from like a northerly direction. 10 just here, looking much more anticyclonic with high pressure right over top of the country. So that, obviously that is like a warm, dry option we've got there. Another 10 just here with low pressure to our north and high pressure to our south-southwest. That's trying to raise the heights from the southwest, turning a little bit drier and warmer, especially for southern areas and then 5 with low pressure towards Iceland and Greenland, high pressure over and to the south of the country. Again, that's trying to turn a little bit drier and warmer. So it's inconclusive, really, isn't it? We've got virtually a 50-50 split, not quite, but virtually 50-50 split between unsettled and drier in 2 weeks' time. So we may get ourselves some dry and warm weather in the second half of August, but it certainly isn't guaranteed at this point. And up to the middle of August, anyway, it continues to look pretty mixed. CFS V2 for September is looking like this. So this is similar to a bit of our height anomaly for September. Generally a lot of blocking. And also a lot of this is high latitude blocking as well. So we've got these red colours all the way up towards like the Arctic and Greenland. Does extend down into the UK around Ireland as well. It's over here around Svalbard to suggest very easterly September. You would have thought lots of easterly winds coming in. With this, easterlies in September are going to be relatively warm. So despite the fact that this is all being created by sort of northern blocking, it's probably a relatively warmish scene. What we have to watch out for, and this sort of little blue area here gives away what could happen, which is an area below average height setting up in the Atlantic, Central Atlantic, underneath the ridge. So it is possible that low, the lows could start to roll in underneath the block, especially if we take this high just a little bit further north. We're going to get the high pressure a little bit further north, and we're at risk of bringing in low pressure, which particularly for southern areas could bring in quite a bit of wet weather. But as it is, the model is probably going for a relatively dry and warmish sort of signal for September. There's no particular signal for temperature in September, and it is a little bit on the drier than average side as well. It's quite a strange anomaly that, it's quite a strange 700 millibar high anomaly, particularly for September, which isn't a month that you especially associated with blocking and high pressure within the north latitudes. But that's what it's showing today anyway. I would suspect that will change quite significantly over the coming days. You do get updated daily, these monthly charts, so I would expect this will look somewhat different when we look at it again next Friday. Now, before we go, I did promise you we'd have a look at the ECMWF seasonal model, the opening salvo, if you like, from the ECM seasonal model for the winter of 2021-2022. Before we get to that, I thought I'd show you the four mean sea level pressure anomaly charts, starting with the autumn. So this is how the mean sea level pressure anomaly is looking from the ECM model for autumn 2021. Should I put the webcam back on while we go through these? Why not? I'll be down in the right-hand corner, so it won't obscure your view. Right, so this is autumn 2021 with the ECM seasonal model, mid-Atlantic ridge, some low pressure towards Norway. So we're bringing in a wind from like a northwest southeast direction type direction with that, and the jet stream as well. Probably quite cool a mix for the autumn, actually. I wouldn't think it's overly wet because the Atlantic is pretty blocked with that area of high pressure, but I think with the jet stream on a northwest southeast alignment, some low pressure through here, we'll probably bring in low pressure like on a northwest southeast alignment, which will bring unsettled weather at times and probably quite coolish temperatures, to be honest. I certainly wouldn't expect anything overly warm with an anomaly like that for the autumn. The next tri-monthly period will be October, November, December, and again we've got a mid-Atlantic ridge being suggested here, but it is going more towards southern parts of Greenland. Again, probably a northwest southeast alignment to the jet stream. There's bound to be low pressure coming in here, so Scandinavia could have quite a cold time of it later on in the autumn with northerly winds, certainly northwest winds, maybe northerly winds digging in. Doesn't show a trough of low pressure, but with that ridge there in the North Atlantic, I suspect there would be a trough of low over Scandinavia. And again, for us, probably quite cool, quite showery, northwesterly shots at times, maybe some northerlies as well. And as we go further on, of course, those northwesterly to northerly shots probably get a little bit more potent, so could get quite cold by the end of the autumn. And then this was very interesting. This is November, December, January mean sea level pressure anomaly. The high pressure goes even further north, centering around Iceland and up to Greenland. So that suggests a cold end to the autumn, start to the winter, I would have thought. That is likely to bring the wind in either from the north or possibly even from the northeast. Could we have a cold December and or January with that? You know, definitely that looks like it could be quite cold to me, the centre of that high pressure around Iceland and Greenland. Negative AO, NAO type combination. And I see no reason why that couldn't bring us a wintry end to the year. So if you're waiting for some snow, who knows, even around Christmas, and that does not, I shouldn't be saying that, but that does look quite interesting. That means the pressure anomaly chart. Then this is winter itself. So as I said, this is the opening salvo from the ECMWF season model for winter 2021-2022. As far as it goes with mean cell pressure, you'll notice that the high pressure around Iceland and Greenland just disappears. Mostly, there's a little bit still left. But generally, the high pressure disappears later on into the winter. And probably, it doesn't really show it, but I expect there's probably a ridge around here. It shows it more on the 500 millibar height anomaly for winter 2021. It's probably a ridge building through here. So we probably start to get some lower pressure around Iceland and Greenland and just begin to revert back to more of a westerly flow. So I think the ECM season is like suggesting a front-loaded winter, coldest weather, and, you know, most wintry conditions early on in winter, in the front part of winter, and then probably later on we start to revert back to more of a westerly and you know, westerly winds and milder and wetter conditions perhaps later on in the winter. But it's a very, very, very long way out, of course, that, and certainly this one for November, December, January, I think that looks quite interesting from the ECM season. That's the most interesting I've seen from the ECM season for a little while. Remember, the ECM is a very good season model, but it did not predict last winter at all. Neither did any of the European or North American models predict that colder winter that we had last winter. It's only really the Asian models, the Japanese and the Chinese, that predicted that colder winter. The other models, European and North American models, generally failed quite badly with last winter. So I wouldn't take that too seriously. That's one of the more interesting mean cell pressure anomaly forecasts that I've seen from the ECM for a little while, for a few years. For the early winter, remember, November, December, January, and then it looks like we're going to flip later on something milder and wetter. That's the kind of thing you enjoy. Then check out Sunday live streams from 6 p.m. We always focus on the long range with those. So we'll be live streaming this Sunday at 6 p.m. and we will show you some long range with that. And we might have Patel Peng's analogues for this Sunday, but if not, we'll definitely show you some long-range charts. Anyway, so if that's the kind of thing you enjoy, you know, speculation, long-range, just for fun, charts, then check out the Sunday live stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, okay, we're done with today's video, so if you enjoyed the video, please can you give us a like, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. I say we've got to put on another 10 subscribers to get ourselves to 11.7k. So we're very, very close to that now. Please give us a sub and tell friends and family to subscribe as well. Thank you so much for doing this. And drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Tomorrow, going to have a 7 a.m. broadcast. Talking to the ECM, we're going to have the ECMWF extended look ahead for the next 6 weeks. We'll have weekend forecasts as on Saturday and a 10 to 14 day at 2. Sunday, we'll have GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup. We'll have an autumn update, of course, on Sunday as well. And as I said, we'll be live streaming from 6 p.m. So you enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow for some more videos for this video. That's all for now. And thanks for watching.